Gray Analytics Vice President, General Counsel, former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Alabama, Jay Town, joins me. Jay, I have said before how, and I use the word obnoxious, I think it is, whether she had the right to, and she did have the right to, I think, to force that surrender of noon on Friday rather than giving Mark Meadows until Monday after he'd had the hearing. She has a right to it. I actually agreed with the judge's order saying that, although it's obnoxious. But I will tell you, but I think it indicates a lot about what a prosecutor does around the edges on these things. But I think the most appalling thing to me is, like, a lot of these people are big boys and big girls, and they've had successful careers. But Harrison Floyd, he's sitting in that jail tonight because she wouldn't negotiate, she wouldn't get a bond, and he's not accused of a violent crime. I mean, who's out there helping Harrison Floyd? Why is she holding him? He showed up to surrender. He's not fleeing. He showed up, and yet he's not out of jail tonight, in that horrible jail.
Yeah, unctuous, obnoxious, petulant. These are all words that could be used to describe Fani Willis. I do hope that President Trump's legal team is watching this broadcast right now, so that he knows that after he makes bond, he can walk over to the cashier, if you will, and bond out Mr. Floyd as well, and get him out of there. It would be magnanimous, because he's entitled to bond constitutionally. And so there has to be a bond.
But how mean-spirited? How mean-spirited in that horrible jail that's under investigation for civil rights violations? And I mean, how mean-spirited can you be to hold him?
But this shouldn't surprise us. And I mean, you read this indictment and you look at these 19 co-defendants, and there's 160-some overt acts alleged. 120 of them took place outside of Fulton County. 150 of them are not crimes. So it's beyond me how, Fani Willis is operating this way. It's embarrassing to prosecutors everywhere.
All right. I have so many former federal prosecutors on this case, and look, I come from I was a defense attorney. I get it. I'm really aggressive when it comes to constitutional rights. I get it. But how come you, Francie Hakes, the other Brett Tolman, the other federal prosecutors, nobody comes on this show and says, this is a fair prosecution? And you guys got probably combined 60 or 70 years of prosecuting, state and federal. Now, one of you has said, boy, this is fair. This is good prosecutorial judgment. This seems to me to be like she recognizes constitutional rights. How come none of you is saying that?
Well, I can speak for myself, but I believe this to be true about all the folks that you named: Francie, Brett, Jonathan, Joe Marino. All of us believe in one thing: justice. We didn't take jobs as prosecutors so that we could pad stats. We took jobs as prosecutors so that we could put people where they belong in the system based on their activity, based on their criminality. And when there is none, we walked away and had other things to do. But Fani Willis has been campaigning and raising money on getting Trump. And that is not what you do. You don't get a target and then wrap misconduct around them. You get the misconduct and find out who done it. And that's why I'm so hard on her. I don't know her, but I've read everything that she has submitted to the courts. And it's all been an embarrassment. If you spent your life, as I have, almost all of my professional adult life, I have spent in a courtroom as a prosecutor. I wasn't always a corner office guy. I was a line guy. I was in court every day. And the type of work that I did was to bring justice, not to bring justice to that guy.
J-Town, thank you.
Thanks, Greta.